So guys, I gotta ask you, what is the best Gremlins copycat that came after that film became big? My vote's for Ghoulies.
No. Munchies.
Guys, come on, let's get real here. Clearly, the best knockoff of Gremlins, even if it was lacking a bit in the humor department, was obviously Critters. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie von Slaughter.
I mean, Fuego here.
Here to do a review of the very first installment in this, I say, cult favorite franchise, and so popular is it, actually, in retrospect, that 2019 is not only the year of the King, but it's also the year of the Chucky, and now the year of the Critter, because we are getting not only an 8-episode Critters series coming to Shudder from the guys that brought you, I believe they're the ones that did Zombievers, and then we're also getting a Critters movie shot by Sci-Fi from the guy that brought you The Cleanse.
And who's coming back for that one?
Oh,
He's doing a Critters movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
And that Critters movie has Dee Wallace in it, who is in this very first Critters movie.
Yes, you got
Alright.
interviewed.
Yeah, that's
She's
right!
great.
Oh, God. Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, did you forget that the main lead actress in this movie has been on our show?
Right now, because I told you, I was like, oh, D Wallace, like in our group,
Yeah.
because we have a group chat that we
Yeah.
do, and I get excited. I'm like, oh my God, look who it is, D
Yeah,
Wallace.
don't take
it's-
this the wrong way, but I love me some D.
We all know Fuego.
we know this.
We know.
But she's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
She is. She's absolutely sweet.
She's
And
terrific.
again, she was in this very first installment of Critters. This is what sort of launched this franchise, and I believe it was only like a year or two after Gremlins,
Couple
if I'm
years,
not mistaken.
What, 86?
Not surprised.
This was 84. The first one was
84,
84, yeah. So I think that's like 1 year after Gremlins. Wasn't Gremlins
It's older
83?
than I am.
Or was it 81 or 82?
Ooh, that's a good question. We should know these things.
Yes, that's okay.
It's older than
It
I
came
am.
out after Gremlins.
I'll
That's all
find
we
out
know.
real
That's
quick.
how we know.
Damn it.
Older
Oh,
than
Critters
I
was
am.
86.
That's
Okay.
it.
Oh,
So
okay.
they said it, the first one in 84, though. That's what happened.
It's
Okay.
still older than I am.
All right. So I am one that has loved this franchise ever since I was a kid. I can't remember when I watched it for the first time, but I know it was one of those that I discovered at the video store because I would go to Galaxy Video, I would go to Video Update, who had
I
like
remember Video
3
Update.
for Tuesdays for $1. So you could rent, I could rent like 9 horror movies for $3.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Foreign.
This is where I became acquainted with the Critters franchise, and as a creature feature fan, I've always loved creature movies the most. This is part of why. I mean, the Gremlins obviously played a factor. Gremlins was really good, but Critters, I think, was really more horror than Gremlins was. I think it's more gory, more bloody. I think they tried to make it sort of less funny and more gory, I think, than Gremlins.
On the sci-fi slant too that they brought. To
Right,
us.
right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Big, yeah, which I didn't remember was such a big part of it at the very beginning and stuff. I was
Yeah,
like,
the
dang.
makeup on that guy was good too.
Yeah, so anyway, my overall thoughts for this, because we'll do this review like normal, I really enjoy the Critters movies, and specifically number 1 is fantastic. I'm not sure if I actually like number 2 a little bit better. I might, for various reasons. Well, we'll get to it when we talk about it, but I really enjoy Critters 1. Now, Fuego had seen these, right?
I saw the first 2 and remember the first 2 very well. I know I've seen at least some of the third. I don't think I've ever watched the 4th one.
I'm about to
And
be thrown under
Susie,
the
what about
bus.
you?
I've never seen it before
Okay.
in my life.
Well, no, I'm just asking because it'll give perspective for the people
Yeah.
watching for your opinion.
No, yeah, absolutely. So yes, no. Before this, it's really funny because before you told me like we need to watch this, I was like, okay. I was just given shit by a friend of mine for not had ever seen these before.
Really? Okay.
And then you're like, we need to watch these. And I'm like, oh, what a coinky dink. Like, so yes, so I was going into it not ever seeing Critters before.
So what was your overall
Okay.
impression?
Okay, so I am a die-hard Gremlins fan. I love Gizmo. I love all that. And I was even telling him in the group chat, I'm like, I feel like it's like a rip-off of Gremlins.
It was.
I think that watching it now, I can appreciate it for what it was. I think maybe had I watched it back then, I could have appreciated it more. But I will tell you, I'm an elitist Gremlins fan. I am.
Okay.
Gremlins 1 or Gremlins 2?
Well, you gotta judge this based on what it is, not what it isn't, Susie.
No, I know. I do think it was well done. I like the idea because it is not exactly like Gremlins. It isn't. But I do appreciate it for what it was. It was funny, like very campy, you know. So I thought it was funny, like the critters too. I could watch it, but then again, like I'm just a Gremlins fan, so I'm like, there's nothing better than that. But no, I appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun.
Fair enough.
It was fun.
Fuego.
So I didn't see these as a kid, so I think that's why a few years ago when I did finally check them out, I was like, they're just okay. They're just whatever.
Right.
But honestly, I gained a newfound appreciation rewatching the first one. I had gone around for the longest time saying I prefer 2. I think I prefer 1 now, in all honesty. I feel like the tone, it takes itself a little more seriously. The second one definitely does not, and we'll get to that in our review. But, I mean, you've got a great horror cast with Lynn Shay and Dee Wallace and a few other faces I totally recognize, but I'm not sure the name of, like, these actors and whatnot, but I've seen them in bit horror roles for tons of different times. Although I must say, with, like, having a much younger kid as a central character compared with Gremlins, which had
the older,
Billy.
yeah, exactly. I feel like this was geared more at kids than Gremlins, personally, you know. But it was PG-13, so they were trying to out Gremlins it with there is some more violence and some more gore, and the sci-fi little angle is what I think really sets this series apart. And plus, I mean, you know, I laughed more at these silly little hedgehog-looking porcupine, whatever the hell they are this time, and their little language that they have, and also the Stranger in the Night or whatever the hell that hair metal song was. I love that.
That was so
Strangers in the night.
Oh my
They
God.
are calling.
I'm so glad that you said that about the kids though, because it is something I would let my kids watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's PG-13. It's not that bad. It's just fun, and the critters are a little bit freaky just with the way they look, with all the rows of teeth inside their mouths.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
spines,
you know.
It is very reminiscent of Gremlins. I thought with those characters too.
Reminiscent, sure.
They're scary, but they're silly too. But
Yeah,
so
but they don't have. Well,
I enjoyed it.
They kind of have. They don't have quite as much personality as the Gremlins do.
No.
But they tried. They tried a little bit, and there's some actually. They do a little bit of subtitling for the critters talking to each other, which is kind of funny.
But it's funny. But as far as the young boy goes, I thought he did great.
Yeah.
Too. You know, acting with all of that, because you got to remember, like, they're the critters in the movie, but they're really not. When they're making the movie, they're not responding to anything. That's all them. That's all the actors.
Well, I mean, they have the actual puppets on.
Yeah,
stage,
but I mean, anyway, for a young kid to be reacting that the way he did, and the acting that he did, I really appreciated for that time too. Like it's well done.
Now the story overall, just so you guys know, is these critters are actually interstellar terrorists. Or interstellar criminals, at least. They start off breaking out of a prison
and they must be
in
eliminated.
space, and then bounty hunters are sent after them to eliminate them. And
they're the most dangerous things.
Yeah, they're
in the
like
universe.
one of the most dangerous things in the universe. And so they crash land on Earth at a farm. Where actually we see a wonderful all-American early '80s family,
and yet
or
really
mid '80s,
good.
I guess I should say.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of actors that we've seen. Again, Dee Wallace plays the mother, but the daughter's boyfriend, I think this is why Susie's looking at me, is played by a very young Billy Zane.
Yes, it fucking blew me away when he said it. I was like, who the fuck is that? And Billy Zane. The fuck?
Yeah, he's really young. He plays the teenage boyfriend.
It's worth seeing just to see.
A mullet tail,
rocking a mullet. It's just worth seeing just to see Billy Zane with a mullet.
Yeah, but yeah. So this farm is right where the critters crash, apparently, and they start to attack and eat everything in sight because that's what they do, and that includes the people inside the house. Once they realize they're there, They're little destructive forces that just roll right at you, whether you want them to or not.
Jesus,
and
that's
then,
like my kids.
yeah, and then they just eat the crap out of you like land piranha.
That is my kids all over.
So this family has to survive, and the bounty hunters end up showing up and trying to help out. And the town drunk Charlie plays a rather significant role, or at least plays a relatively regular role in this first movie, and then turns into a more significant role
in the second.
But yeah, so that's the plot in and of itself. Now, I think it's such a nice basic plot that it works very well for this movie. I mean, I don't think it needs to be anything bigger than just this one family surviving against an infestation of this type. You know what I mean?
It's just very fun. I thought, you know what I mean? Yeah, like you said, in galactic force from space that must be eliminated because it's the most dangerous thing in the universe, and it's like on Earth, you know, it's very silly. But it's fun. I thought it's
especially
very fun.
when you see what these little bastards are, and you're just like, that's the most okay.
Right, yeah. Like, why can't you just like get a tennis racket? Like,
yeah, they're
no,
the subtitles.
Yeah, like
well, and they get close at times.
Stuff.
I mean, there's a time where the kid uses a baseball bat to just swat a bunch away in the later movie.
But it's fun. So that's it's funny. It's fun.
But I mean, you know, but that's why it's realistic in its non-realism, because they do acknowledge that these are just balls rolling at people that can be batted away at times.
Sonic the Hedgehog style, like I said,
It's realistic and it's non-realism.
Yeah.
That is a quote for the
absolutely.
year.
I'll coin it. I'll coin it. I don't care.
Hashtag realistic non-realism.
So, Fuego, what did you think of the story?
It's creatures overrunning a small town. It's not just gremlins. It's many other things that we saw, especially stretching back to the 50s and, you know, campy drive-in cinema and stuff like this. I mean, it's happened over and over, and it happens in The Blob. But they work within the constraints of the humor, and I feel like, once again, like I said earlier, the science fiction aspect, that angle is what really brings this to a whole. And they also do treat it with a little more seriousness in the scripting, you know, compared to the second one. But the one thing I will say, since there's not like a super high body count or anything like that, one of the reasons why I didn't like this as much when I watched it a few years ago for the first time was because it doesn't feel like the stakes are that high, because I was talking off camera with Cecil about this. It's more like just maiming of characters instead of actual death, you know? And I mean, they get shot with the little poison pins and stuff.
Which
and
is
so,
so
you know.
funny.
Yeah, but it really does boil down to, even though there's the side characters, you know, within the town and whatnot, it's about a closely knit family just having to come even closer together and, you know, just, you know, work to their advantages and whatnot and stuff. And, yeah, exactly. And I actually like all four members of the family. I think they're all likable. I've seen some bad families, especially in the 80s. But I mean,
this is one of the better on-screen families.
It is. The sister's cute. The boy is cool, and I would have wanted to be in an adventure like him when I was that age. So.
And I think that's what's really good about us rewatching it now, is that because we watched so much. And you were saying, like, a few years ago, you couldn't really appreciate it as much. But now, I think we can appreciate it a little bit better for what it was. And, you know, it's funny.
Allow me this, maybe.
Nope.
It's as if Brad was a Goonie that got caught in a horror movie.
Yeah, it's like that. It's not supposed to be, like, the most amazing, prolific thing you'll fucking ever see.
It's got Goonie sensibilities.
Yeah, right.
But it's also got scary sensibilities.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. So.
And there was actually something that I had totally forgotten about. I didn't remember the giant critter at one. Like, I didn't remember that at all. I remembered the ball from 2, but I didn't remember that there was a giant one. I was like, that's dope. And I wish that we had gotten to see more of it, but I guess it would have just looked like Station from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Probably.
Yeah, so just so you guys know,
these little flashes of
we rewatch as much as we can so that we can give you the most
accurate. You know, that's why we have 2 other movies that you know, we could review today, but I want to hold off because I want to make sure to rewatch them and get them fresh in my mind. So. But this one is absolutely fresh in my mind. So the acting I also really dug. Dee Wallace is great as the mother. Actually, she shined as the mother. She pulled her Cujo sensibilities into this performance, I feel like, at times.
Totally.
When she was really worried about her kid, and like when she woke up from having the porcupine in her neck. and like she finds out that Brad's gone for help, and she like kind of freaks out. I really like that. Like, there's a lot of good acting in this movie, and I actually really enjoy Charlie too. He plays the good town drunk who believes in aliens when no one else does, and ends up being proven right.
Right.
I enjoyed the performances.
Right. No, that was something else I really enjoyed. I'm glad you brought that up again about the spikes that come out. Even though they're intergalactic, like, beings, like, still, like, you got the little porcupine spikes that go, you know, come out. So I thought that was cute, too.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, deadly.
What did you think of the acting?
Cute. No, I told you, I
get you like
liked
the
it.
spines.
No, well.
Like the acting of the critters. They were the best in the film.
No, I really enjoyed the acting. And I was really thinking about it when you were saying that. About this, for this time, it's still... like, the acting of it is still, I think, genuine to a degree without it being overdone. You know what I mean? Because once it got to the 90s and 2000s, everyone got used to a certain way of being delivered a story. But it is overdone in the sense that it was appropriate for what it was doing.
So it's not too much of a camp factor. It was like just enough.
Perhaps allow me this. It was more. It was more Andy Griffith than Pleasantville.
Yes.
Where it's genuine old timiness.
Yes.
Rather than
Versus
a
movie
trying to recreate the old timiness.
Yes.
Why'd you say no before I said it?
Bingo.
Because I have to put you in your place. Okay, but no, that is verbatim exactly what I'm trying to get across.
Perfect.
But you just did it better, so
And
don't get used to it.
What can I do?
Where's that time I choke you with it?
It's only there for straightening, not choking. So anyway, let's
segue into the effects.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
I mean, because I actually
practicality.
I had forgotten right off the
and
bat.
CG.
A
little bit of the
when
transformations and
also
and
I
the broadcasts, all of those little,
when they were zooming in on the weird
holograms and stuff,
prison rock or whatever the heck it was at
Yeah.
the very beginning, and I mean the thing was I'd forgotten all about the makeup work they do on this weird guy with this huge like forehead thing going on, and he's like moving around on his little car, and I was like, that's actually some pretty dope like 80s, you know, science fiction alien sort of makeup and stuff. And I mean the design of the critters, it's endearing and silly and cool.
Practical puppets too.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Which I guess they're bringing back for this new TV series.
But did you notice?
They don't
did you notice the difference in the eyes? How the eyes are
Very
much duller
Yes.
in these, and it makes them look more real and less like Halloween toys. You know what I mean?
That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, and also we do get a little bit of gore here and there. There's like that neck like gouging chewing that goes down, and then there's the chewing on Zane's stomach that happens, and even when the father gets attacked and everything.
Well, the father gets attacked, right? And he's downstairs in the basement, and he keeps telling him, "Don't come down here." That's actually, I felt like I was like, that's pretty heroic. In the middle of a horror movie for a character that in any other horror movie would bite it right here. Like literally, it was really interesting to see, and it was cool. But at the same time, it also goes towards why it's interesting, why the critters are interesting as villains. I mean, the gremlins are tricky and will kill you, but they don't. Again, the critters are essentially land piranhas. They swarm you to take you out.
Yeah.
And they take chunks out of you. Gremlins are just mischievous that'll kill you.
Yeah,
you know, they'll shake you.
Yeah.
And they don't strike forward. They do it like you're driving.
They're like
and
raptors.
They're doing your brakes and like.
They'll distract you with the one in front and then two from the side.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, the gremlins aren't there to eat you. They're there to just kind of mess with you and play
Exactly.
with you
like you said. Yeah.
mischievous and kill you eventually. But,
yeah,
you know,
but
they like
the
to
critters
play
are
with
straight
these
up
peeps.
Just land piranhas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it's a different dynamic, and I think it works to the movie's advantage. They play into that.
Absolutely.
And they actually play into the fact, the rollingness of it, because a lot of people end up on the ground, and then you see the rolling right at them and stuff, and it's like, it's silly. It's silly when something furry is rolling at you until you see that it's full of gnashing teeth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How do you process that? That's a bit much.
Yeah. Which, of course, in the sequel, they have to crank up.
They do. I'm excited to get to that. So,
yeah.
I actually kind of like the old timey score too. The 80s. It was a very 80s horror score, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
No, I thought it was good. I was all about it.
And obviously that hair metal song in the fake music video where they derive
Yeah!
that guy's
Power of the night.
And the drummer's
Fucking
hair
mullet,
is
man.
like way bigger than Susie's, man. I'm telling you.
Wow.
I think we said Strangers in the night before. I think it's Power of the Night.
Power of the Night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh
something.
my god. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Johnny
Our heart's in
Steele.
the right place. Yeah, Johnny Steele.
Because
He's
I watched. I
You're
actually,
Johnny Steele.
It's cool because I actually watched this. I watched the.
Look, all I'm gonna say is the higher.
I watched all of them. So
Yeah.
I watched the Critters Scream Factory collection, which actually is full of documentaries, and I watched the one on 4 just because I had extra time before they came today. And they showed all of the actors from the series as they are now doing interviews. And Charlie's put on some pounds.
Look,
and
who
and Johnny Steele like looks more like Herschel from Walking Dead than Johnny Steele now. It's pretty interesting.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, but they're all game to do it again. Like, it's pretty funny.
I'm sure they are.
But anyway, I just really enjoy this movie. I want to spread the love of it, and again, we're going to be reviewing this whole series leading up to the actual Critters TV show, which is coming before the movie, as I understand it. The TV show is going to Shudder in late March. Here we are on March 10th recording this review, so
It's coming up pretty quick.
yeah,
This
we're going to
year's
be recording.
flying by.
All four reviews will come out before the series shows up, so you guys will be all caught up on our thoughts on the Critters movies, which I'm excited to do. And then we'll gear into Chucky before the Chucky reboot in June.
A
So
little bit further away for that one. So
that's gonna be fun. Shut up. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. Any final thoughts on Critters, you guys? Are you glad to do this series?
Yeah, no, I was, yeah. I'd say it's
Having
fun.
watched it, are you like it's not a total waste of your time? It's
No.
not solid.
Okay. No, it's not solid, and it
Yeah.
was not a complete waste of my fucking time. It
Thank
was
you.
fun. Like I said, I would have my kids watch it.
it's
not
like the
it's-
point Susie was making, where you were like, "Okay, we've watched so much bad stuff at this point that stuff like
This is passable.
that's
This is good.
pretty damn good,
Yeah.
but not gonna blow your mind. It's like, hey, this is way better than."
That is the best thing. That is the best way
Yeah.
to put about it. Like, yeah, we watched so much stuff that I'm like, I'll let it pass.
Yeah.
Compared to the other shit. Compared to
Alright.
most of the shit that this one brings up.
Oh
So,
damn.
oh.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this
Sorry,
review, you
Susie.
guys. Make sure you guys comment down below if you have any thoughts or opinions on this original Critters movie. I'd be excited to hear what y'all think of it if you enjoy it as much as I do as a lover, or even as kind of mediocrely as
Newbie.
Susie as a newbie. Let us know in those comments down below. While you're down there, feel free to click the link to the Patreon if you want
While
to
you're
support the
down
channel more
there.
directly.
Click that link.
We greatly appreciate it. Or if you don't want to support us that way, you can always support the channel just by liking the video and subscribing so you get all the videos going forward. Thank you guys very much. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie von Slaughter.
Gracias, I'm Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared!
scared.
No critters were harmed in the making of this review.